Hey guys, Mr. Mineblox here from the Railroad Philosophy Productions channel, and today I'm going to do my very first Locomotive Versus video. Southern Railway number 1380 versus Norfolk and Western 611 versus Southern Pacific 4449. The Southern Railway's Class PS4 Pacific number 1380 was built by Alco in 1923. It was streamlined in 1941 by Auto Color for use on the Tennessean train, which connected New York with Memphis, Tennessee. The bullet nose streamlined design by Auto Color was similar to the bullet style of the B&O's Royal Blue. The Southern Tennessean service operated between Washington, D.C. and Monroe, Virginia, and connected with the Norfolk and Western Railway, who had assigned its streamlined J-class engines to its connecting lines when the Southern finally dieselized the Tennessean. Number 1308 joined the remainder of the PS4s assigned elsewhere on the road, though it retained its streamlining. 611 was built in May 1950 by the Roanoke Shops in Roanoke, Virginia, and was retired in 1959 as one of the last steam locomotives to be retired by any U.S. or North American Class I railroad. 611 has been in 2 derailments total during her service with the N&W. An engineer ran her at excessive speeds while pulling the Pocahontas around a bend in the Tug River outside Shutter, West Virginia. 611 suffered only minor damage, was repaired shortly, and returned to service. It was restored and returned to service in 1982, operating until 1994 on its final run of December 7, 1994. On May 18, 1986, one of the passenger cars being hauled by 611 on an employee special got caught in a switch and derailed outside Great Dismal Swamp, Virginia. 12 cars derailed and blocked the line for a good amount of time. 611 again only took minor damage and was soon repaired. The locomotive was finally retired from excursion service 1 month after a major derailment, not involving 611. In a yard which heavily damaged several excursion cars in October 1994, the steam program was canceled. 611's last run was December 7, 1994, on the 53rd anniversary of the Pearl Harbor explosions. It was on display at the Museum of Transportation from 1995 to 2014. 611 returned to service on May 23, 2015, and made its first test run and movement under her own power for the first time in 21 years. Its top speed is 130 miles per hour. Southern Pacific 4449, also known as the Daylight, is the only surviving example of Southern Pacific Railroad's GS4 class of steam locomotives and one of only 2 GS class locomotives surviving, the other being GS6. The locomotive is a streamlined 4A4 Northern type steam locomotive. GS is abbreviated from Golden State, a nickname for California, where the locomotive was operated in regular service or general service. The locomotive was built by Lima Locomotive Works in Lima, Ohio, for Southern Pacific in May 1941. It received the red and orange Daylight paint scheme for the passenger trains of the same name, which it hauled for most of its service career. Number 4449 was retired from revenue service in 1956 and put into storage. In 1958, it was donated by the railroad to the city of Portland, who then put it on static display in Oaks Amusement Park, where it remained until 1974. It was restored to operation for use in the American Freedom Train, which toured the 48 conditions United States for the American Bicentennial celebrations. Since then, 4449 has been operating excursion service throughout the continental U.S. Its operations are based at the Oregon Rail Heritage Center in Portland, where it is maintained by a group of dedicated volunteers called Friends of SP 4449. In 1983, a poll of Trains magazine's readers chose the 4449 as the most popular locomotive in the nation. Now we go ahead and compare all 3 of them. 1380 weighs 68.32 tons total, 61 long tons. 611 weighs 436 tons total. 4449 weighs 394 tons total. Both 611 and 4449 almost weigh the same thing, but I think I have to give it to 1380 since it weighs a little more than that, which is 68.32 tons. Now we go and compare their tractive effort. 1380 has 182,000 IBF tractive effort. 611 has 8,000 pounds of tractive effort. 4449 has 6,400 and 8,000 tractive effort. Once again, I'm going to give it to 1380 since it has 182,000 tractive effort. Now we go ahead and compare their valve gear. 1380 uses valve gear Baker wall shorts. 611 uses Baker valve gear. 4449 uses wall shorts valve gear, I believe. I'm not so sure, but I think it does. Now we go ahead and compare their fuel type. 1380 uses coal. 611 uses coal. And 4449 uses oil, which means the 4449 can travel all over the United States using oil. Compared to 611 and 1380, since they both run on coal, they can only run like a little ways, like almost half into the United States on the eastern board, while the 4449 can travel all over the United States if it wanted to using oil. Now, when the 4449 was chosen to be the American Freedom Train, the 611 was going to be used for the East Coast American Freedom Train until they decided not to and just went with Reading 2101 and Texas and Pacific 610, both two Eastern locomotives acting as the East Coast American Freedom Train, while the 4449 took the West Coast American Freedom Train. Now, this was a pretty good comparison on their fuel, their gear, and their career. But since the 4449 is the one that uses oil while 1380 and 611 both use coal, I think I'll give the winner to Southern Pacific 4449. Well, I hope you enjoyed this locomotive comparison. It was the best I can do. I tried my best. And by the way, I was inspired to do this by 844 Steam Train, who did his own, kind of similar to what I do now. But yeah, this was a good comparison. 4449 is the winner. And if you guys are interested in Minecraft, go to my main channel, Mr. Mineblox, where you can check all that out. And as always, Team Rail fans, all aboard!